You can start now.
It's recording. This is interesting. I'm still waiting on Julieta. Hi, Mitzi. Hi, Zoe. I've never met either of you, but I'm happy that you're here and I'm happy that we're meeting.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I know, I always feel like in Zoom meetings, I'm like always thinking like, wow, the first minutes of a Zoom meeting is really awkward. And I feel like my Gemini Mercury just wants to talk, you know, like I want to start talking already about the things that I want to do, that I want to. Yes, there's Julieta. Okay. I'm going to take one more minute and then I want to start out with introductions. And in the introduction portion, okay, there. Okay, and I think that should be it. I don't think that
Oops, sorry.
Hello. Hello, Julieta, and hello, Hablo. Is that how I pronounce your name? Lovely name, by the way.
Hi, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. So yes, so I said that I wanted to start introductions. It's 1:05 Pacific time. My computer weirdly has Pacific time. I don't know why it's in Pacific time, but I never figured out how to change it. So it's actually 3 in Austin, Texas, which is where I'm speaking from. And I wanted to start out this workshop by introductions. I'm going to introduce myself first. But in the introduction part, I wonder if you know your sun, moon, and rising in either Western or Vedic astrology or any symbols that have been spiritual guides for you. So my name is Itzel Guadalupe Garcia. I grew up in Tamaulipas, in the border between Texas and Mexico. It's, you know, I feel like it's between the river and the sea. So the river and the sea have especially been prominent in my life. I feel like I have a lot of water energy in my Western astrology chart. My rising is a Cancer, and I am also Cancer moon. So it's very heavy lunar energy. So I feel like before I wasn't really in tune with my body, so I wasn't really understanding my emotions and my physical language, which is another symbol that has been, you know, a great guide in my life. I feel very guided by also the vulture spirit guide. I am a writer, so that symbol was the first ones to emerge from this consciousness, from my depth and my depth of subconsciousness. Okay, another one was butterfly. So I started seeing that there was this thread between very transformative animal guides and qualities to my emotional world. And I mean, I was writing about all these things. I was writing about lies. I was fascinated by vampiristic types of things because I knew that there was something in my subconsciousness. Oh, there's someone else joining us. Okay, maybe that's why I keep rambling. JK. Hello, AJ. We are doing introductions, so I guess I can call your name, and then you can tell me your sun, moon, rising, and whatever system of astrology you use. It can also be the day that you were born in on the Mexica lunar calendar or the Mayan cosmology, the Nahuales, whatever system of spirituality that you use. I also want to plant an intention, seed an intention of comfortability. I hope this is a safe space. Please also tell me your pronouns. My pronouns are she, hers. Yes, so anything that makes you safe and comfortable and you want to share, please let me know. And I will start with Julieta.
Was that me? You're calling me. Hi. Oh, okay. So in Western astrology, I am a Cancer with a Sag rising and a Scorpio moon. In my own personal spirituality, I actually identify as a werewolf. I don't identify like as a particular gender. My pronouns are alpha and they, them. And I don't know, and I feel like a lot of my spiritual guides come in the form of felines. And so a lot of my personal characteristics are kind of enmeshed in like nature and like being an animal and like being, you know, like something that's a naturally occurring being and a deity in itself, you know? So that's me.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Selena?
Hi, everybody. I'm Selena. Well, my pronouns are she, her. I'm Aries sun, Cancer moon, and Gemini rising. And so I've always kind of felt that Aries fire. And then I didn't know we had other moon signs and rising signs until my sister was like, do you know your moon sign? And I'm like, what? And then she's like, yeah, you have other signs. And I was like, no. And then when I found out I was a Cancer moon, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And the more I've kind of grown or understood about myself, it makes a lot of sense. Like the crab, right? Like you're like this all the time to keep people away, but on the inside you're really like sensitive and mushy and emotional and just all these feelings, but you don't know what to do with them, and so you just kind of block everybody away. And so for me, the more I grow and learn about myself, I too feel like the transformative aspect. And so like big spiritual guides for me have been the serpent, because, you know, it sheds and it regenerates, well, not regenerates, but, you know, the shedding of skins. And recently the deer, because it's more gentle but intuitive and strong, but doesn't have to be so, you know, challenging all the time. And so yeah, I kind of feel connected to those things. And the elements are big for me. They ground me a lot and they speak to me, and kind of trusting them in relation to the four movements as well, and that sacred kind of energy and whatnot.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Mitzi?
Hey everyone. My pronouns are she, her, hers, they, them, theirs. I'm a Pisces sun, Capricorn rising, Aquarius moon. I think it's so interesting that I came across this talk through some Instagram folks, people I follow on Instagram. Multiple people that I follow like shared it on their stories. But I think the reason why I'm like really interested in the devil archetype, the Capricornian, not only is there just like so many transits related to Capricornian energy, like ruling planets that are like in retrograde and stuff like that, but like just my own, like the way I feel like the rising sign is really, one second, I'm in a meeting. Sorry. The rising sign is very indicative. It's like the face that you like navigate the world with more so than anything. So I feel like as a Capricorn rising, I don't know, I just feel like learning more about the tarot and then just like the card, the tarot meaning, I feel like that's something that I struggle with, like this like really cruel realism, and that's like a lot of the time like this bondage to something that like is easily like, you know, in the card it's like the chains are easily being able to take, you know, take them off. And so I just think I'm really interested in learning, hearing more about like different perspectives. Like I feel like that's some energy that I feel I really connect to, and how I mean it's like where the Cancer rising is like a high priestess, like mother, like emotional nurture. I feel like Capricorn is like the daddy. It's very much the paternal, but patriarchal, you know, like not paternal, patriarchal, but like father figure. So I feel like I have that as a Pisces and as a Cap rising. I feel very much like a provider, daddy type archetype. Like I just have to always figure things out beforehand and be very stable, nurturing, and just, I don't know. So yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I don't know, I've never thought about like spirit animals or like connecting to like symbols. I do love animals, I love cats, so yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I was writing, this is a really good question that you proposed. Why don't we take off the chains? It's a really good question, which we will talk about that later. I'm really excited to talk about Daddy and Saturn and our daddy issues and how they're collective and spiritual in many ways, and relate to our relationship to the Father, Son, and the many shadows of the Sun, or the many projections. But we talk. Thank you, Mitzi. Karen.
Hello. Oh my goodness. I am like so taken back by just how like wise and like unique everybody is, and all of your perspectives. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I'm a Pisces Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Gemini rising, and I go by she, her. I feel like, okay, so I kind of, I guess, always grew up with like Chinese astrology, so it's like year of the rat, and I did connect with rat because I was like, oh, Pikachu's a rat Pokemon, like yes, I'm Pikachu. And then like also like Hamtaro, if anybody knows what that is, but like and so I feel like year of the, or like, yeah, and right now it's year of the rat, which is funny because I feel really but it's also Jupiter, like my Jupiter's return, which I feel like the Chinese astrology follows Jupiter's cycles. And so I feel, I don't know, I guess I've been feeling really connected lately to Venus, the planet, and all of the symbolism with Venus. But yeah, I think that's all you need to know.
From yours, I wrote, rats are subversive. You know, I feel like they're very resourceful, and they definitely have the attention to detail that earth signs have. I love rats. I love any type of animal, but yes, thank you so much. Oh. Can everyone hear me? No? It's okay. Thank you. Can you hear me, Hablo?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can we go to Julieta?
Hello, everyone. My pronouns are she, her. My tropical natal chart, I'm a Leo sun, Capricorn moon, and Sag rising. And I'm still learning what the Cap moon is all about. So I'm excited to like lean into today's workshop because I feel like there's a lot of Saturn energy when it comes to the devil archetype. But in Vedic astrology, I am a Cancer sun. And I think now in my older, like in my 30s, I'm kind of leaning into more of the water element. I know for sure that I transmuted a lot of like the fire energy when I was like in my early 20s. And it served me well, but I think I'm trying to utilize a lot of, I guess, like water wisdom these days to kind of cool things down and balance things out for me. I was also born on the day of the serpent, according to the Aztec calendar, and I didn't find that out maybe till like a couple months ago, but it makes a lot of sense because I feel like I'm a natural green thumb, and yeah, just have like a lot of earth medicine inside. So yeah, I'm really excited to share space with all you guys.
Thank you, Julieta. Thank you. That was beautiful. Can we go to AJ?
Okay. Hi, everybody. First of all, sorry I was late. I was having technical difficulties. My name is AJ. I use they, them pronouns. I am a Capricorn sun, a Scorpio rising, and a Libra moon. I didn't realize up until almost like the beginning of the year, that my birth date was wrong. My mom told me the wrong birth date. Or the birth time, excuse me. So I just realized that I was a Scorpio rising and a Libra moon. So it was a big thing and switch for me. I was told about this by Julieta, so thank you, Julieta, about this Zoom meeting, and I've always been really interested in the death card. Even before I was really into tarot or anything, and like everybody like in popular media was always really weird about the card, and I was always just like, it's probably not that big of a deal, they're just overreacting. And of course it would be the Capricorn card, and the one I was never really scared of. So I just really want to learn more about it, more how I can use it within my my life, and like something to remember to always like keep with me. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Capricorn sun. That I feel the power. People just randomly started cutting grass. So I'm gonna close my window. Sorry, my room is not that organized. Not very organized, but anyway, I hope that sounds better because we are going into meditation after this. So anyway, can we go to Zoe? Well, I hope, I mean, I hope we can be able to hear you at some point. I'm sorry about that. Would you like to write us something about you as an introduction, and maybe we can go to Hablo, or, and then I hope that you can join us in voice.
Hey folks, I'm Ablo. I use they, them, their pronouns. Could you repeat what the questions were?
I was just wondering if there were any symbols that have guided you spiritually, or any like just animals, or your astrological signs.
Got it. Thank you. So I am a Virgo sun, and I am a Leo moon and a Leo rising. I remember too about like folks are talking about like any spirit guides that come to them a lot, and I really resonate with like the bee, and like because they don't have a gender, and actually they have multiple genders. And I also really resonate with the hummingbird. Those definitely like appeared to me a lot, and really in moments that I'm really either connecting with like creator and the elements, or like in moments where I'm just kind of like, okay, like everything sucks, you know, kind of as like a sign of hope for me. I'm also a Santissima practitioner, so this was really important to me to like see this. And for me, the Santa Muerte has been such a life-giving entity in my life. And I know that sounds paradoxical, but it's really true, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And I would love to like, I'm really excited about this webinar because like the devil card, it also has so much taboo related to it, and I'm really trying to like deconstruct my relationship with like the quote unquote devil, and like really like decolonize even further like the construct of like good and bad, you know? And so yeah, those are some of those things for me. Yeah.
Thank you. Very interesting. I really enjoyed everybody's responses and different perspectives, the energies. We have a lot of Capricorn energy. Wow. Zoe, I'm sorry about the audio. Okay, I'm going to read your message. My name is Zoe. I am an Aries Sun, Capricorn Moon, another Capricorn Moon, and Leo Rising. I have always related to new and beginning energy. I love the transition starts of the seasons. Sorry, super. Yeah, as an Aries Sun, it starts out the spring season. Capricorn starts out winter, and Leo holds the sky together as the sun. So I love that. I love that energy. Okay, thank you all so much for your responses. I want to officially start the workshop, and the first thing that I would like to do is open space. So this is a meditation format, and I'm just going to guide you into it. So if you have headphones, if that works better for you, I just want you to be able to hear me clearly, hear my voice. And if you feel comfortable with it, I would like you to close your eyes, open up your third eye so that we can imagine something together. So this meditation, the space of nothingness, the subtle sea. I want you to imagine that you are in an expansive space. It is like the sea, but it is not a sea. It is dark, dark blue and endless, and you are alone. You can walk on the water, you don't sink in. You become aware of the impenetrable energy of water, its resistance to your physical element. So once you imagine this space, once you can see it clearly, see that there is absolutely nothing around you. Please breathe in, breathe out, really get in touch with your body and how it feels with the room, the space that you are entering, with the darkness, dark blue water that you are seeing. Feel the bottom of your feet around in the sea. Feel that resistance of the water, like how it's pushing up into your skin, into the skin of your feet. I want you, when you're comfortable with these sensations, when you feel that your body is feeling the subtle energy, the darkness around you, the feeling of solitude and going within, I want you to lay down in the water, as if it were the earth. It feels like silk, comforting every inch of your sky, of your skin. You want to merge with the black screen, but you're just on the surface. Your body is just touching you. You realize now that it is darker, the water. It's almost magnetized to your body. You feel its subtle movement around you, wrapping the shape of you slightly. But you calmly float. You don't give in. It is still resisting you. So just try to go into a deeper space of meditation as you lay down, as you feel the magnetic waves around your body. The sea is very calm. It's not wild, it's not chaotic. It is comfortable and soothing and ephemeral. It is like the flow of the river, of a calm river. It is also space. And above you, you can see that there is just darkness, that the sea is a mirror, and that the mirror is a black screen, a projection screen almost, made of endless, infinite, dark energy. Once you feel completely at ease, I want you to know that you are not truly alone, but you are. You are in your own personalized, infinite space, in the subconsciousness of the earth, of the sea, of the space, of nothing. And the water is a tangible mirror of all that is spaciousness, of the earth, of duality, and how it is both impenetrable and receptive. I want you to become aware of your fingers, or whatever physical form that you are embodying at this moment. I want you to take your fingers, your appendages, and tap your fingers by your side softly. I want you to feel the water like a fluid mirror, like yellow. You're happy. It is so jiggly and almost so it reminds you of something you're deeply comfortable with. You've been here before, in the infinite space of water and darkness. Slowly, I want you to pick a finger and let it sink slightly below the surface of the water. Just dip it. Just dip it into the water and see how that feels to you. What finger did you choose? Each finger represents one of the main celestial bodies that create our solar system. Intuitively, allow the finger you have slipped into the water to project above you its true, real manifestation reflection. There might be a planet or a symbol that comes into your mind. Just let it come to you. Let the symbols come. Your fingers are like a remote control of the infinite space. Each time you dipped one into the water, you can see different projections. I want you to freely explore your own connection to the black screen, to the black sea. Take your time. There is no rush. Explore your playfulness, pretend, see, project. And when you're ready, I want us all to project the moon. The moon phase of tonight is the Watson new moon. In whatever way your fingers, your body is choosing to move, to project into the black mirror, I want you to dedicate a movement to projecting the moon. And I want you to project it as big as you can into the endless space above you. When you see the moon clearly, allow its orange, golden, new moon magic to touch your body. The moonlight activates your awareness of water, of what is communicating as you continue dipping your fingers into the great subconsciousness. Imagine you're connecting each of your fingertips to golden currents that are like roots within the expansive sea, like strands of multicolored light reaching from the endless depth of the ocean, connecting to each of your fingertips. When the energy reaches your fingertips, it runs through you like golden currents, like veins in your body where your blood runs red, connecting you to the moon. You realize you can feel all of us connecting just like you do to the infinite energy of the universe and the great mother, each of us in a collective, infinite, and individual space. Not only can you feel us, but you can also feel the expansiveness of the soul of unity, of these deep, deep, magical golden currents that create life, that take life, that become dark, that become light again and again, always in unity, always with consciousness. Allow yourself to connect, to fully become part of these subconscious currents and their true power. And slowly, I want you to awaken, to begin opening your eyes and join me. Okay, I think yay. Okay, we have someone else that joined us, Romero. We already did introductions and we did the opening meditation, but if you would please, if you know your astrological signs, please give me your sun, moon, and rising, or any symbols of power that feel special to you, that have been guides or teachers in your path. By the way, my name is Itzel. I know we have never met, but it's cool that you're here.
Hi, Itzel and everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Sorry I'm late. My name is Romero. My pronouns are they, them. My sun sign is Cancer with a Leo rising and Aquarius moon. I actually have 4 Leo placements. I'm working with that stellium a lot. I'm just, really happy to be here, and I don't know that I necessarily have like a specific sign or symbol that I tend to work with, though I was reading a dream book recently, and apparently armadillos tend to show up in my dreams a lot, so I've been thinking about that. So, but other than that, I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
I love that, armadillo. I have an armadillo lighter. It's so cute. But anyway, yes, everyone, thank you for doing that meditation with me. I was so excited to share it with everyone. And I hope, Romero, you can do it once. I'm going to record this, so I'll definitely send a link out about this. If anyone would like to share anything important that they believe to be important. Also, I would also like to openly say, you can interrupt me whenever you want to. If you have a question, just raise your hand and I'll try to look at my screen too, because I have a lot of notes. I have notes like in 2 different journals and in my screen. But yeah, or just like unmute your audio and say, hey, I have this question. Anyway, so does anyone have any questions, any comments before we move on? Oh, Selena?
I just wanted to add when we were talking about like symbols and stuff, and I know you were like a big guide for me when it came to like the underworld and exploring that back in March. And so I feel like in my journey, kind of this whole quarantine, that's kind of where I feel like I've been going kind of deeper in the under, right? So like some, I feel more deities that I've kind of like been connecting to, so like Tlazoteo, right? Because she's the filth eater, and so like the cleansing and releasing the things, and Kali, right? Darkness. And so I don't know why that came to mind after like the meditation, and so I thought it was important to share.
No, definitely bring them into the space with you. You know, I like when people share, and I think those are the type of energies that we are exploring. Meditation was about the dark space, from which I think that you can access a lot of energy, all different types of energy. It's the big matrix. But I want to start out by saying that we're going to go into defining the devil. I'm going to share with you what I found out. But I want you, if you have a piece of paper, if you could please draw a triangle, make it big and spacious. Throughout the workshop, I want you to fill the triangle with things that come to mind, with any types of specific memories in relationship to what we are going to discuss. I'm not good at drawing triangles either, so I don't know if that's 90 degrees angles, but this is what I'm going for, an 180 degree opposition angle and 290 degree angles. And so, as I said, you're going to be filling it with writing and with energy. So I think in the process of being able to define what the devil energy means, even with tarot, let me bring my devil out. This is my devil card. I think that I was deeply influenced by the mythologies of my pueblo in childhood. So I wanted to start out with that, but I forgot. I would also like to offer some definitions of the devil from this book. This is Women Who Run with the Wolves, and it's an amazing book written by Clarissa Pincola Estes. And I found it to be an incredible journey of self-awareness and of symbols that were already in my life, but I didn't really, I wasn't able to put them all together. They were very much emerging through my subconsciousness and through trauma, experiences with trauma. So let me see. So the passage that I'm going to read is page 435. And this is actually related to a narrative about where there is a character called the devil. So it says, in Greek mythos, in the underworld, there is a river called Lethe, and to drink of its water causes one to forget all things said and done. Psychologically, this means to fall asleep to one's actual life. The runner, who is supposed to enable communication between those two main components of the new psyche, cannot yet hold its own against the destructive, seductive forces in the psyche. The communicating function of the psyche becomes sleepy, lies down, falls asleep, and forgets. So guess who that is who is always out and about? Why, the old tracker of the maidens, the hungry devil. By the word devil in the story, we see how the story was overlaid by more recent religious material. In the story, the messenger stream and the sleep that causes forgetfulness reveals that the old religion is right underneath the storyline, just the next layer down. This has been the archetype pattern of descent since the beginning of time, and we too follow this timeless timeless system. Likewise, we have a history of terrible chores behind us. And before we know it, the devil hops out in 4 feet. I'm skipping a little bit because so this is the next part I want to read. So when the devil changes a message in the tale, it can be considered in one sense a true record of the actual historical event, one that is particularly relevant to modern women in their psychic work of descent and awareness. Remarkably, many aspects of culture, meaning the collective and dominant belief system of the group of persons living close enough to influence one another, still act as the devil regarding women's inner work, personal lives, and psychic processes. By carving away this, blotting out that, and severing a root here and sealing up an opening there, the devil in the culture and the intra-psychic predator causes generations of women to feel fearful, yet wander about with not the simplest clues about the causes or about their own laws of the wild nature, which could reveal to all of them. And then the devil in the tale symbolizes anything that corrupts understanding of the deep feminine processes. You know, it does not take a torquemada to hunt the souls of women. It can also be hunted by the goodwill of new but unnatural ways, which when taken too far, rob a woman of her nourishment, wildish nature, and her ability to make a soul. So that's where I want to start out this conversation. When I read this book, I will say that it changed my life because I was one of those women that had been running around in the darkness. But I was already using darkness. I will explain what I mean. I am a writer. So when I'm writing, it is through my hands. So I am very subconscious. I call myself a channel because it's not that I hear voices, it's just that my mouth takes over and I start talking about all these other symbols that make sense. So when I would write, I would sit down and I would write out my intensive feelings, and it would be like a magic spell. It would be that they would transmute inside of my body because they were intrinsically connected to my physical matter. My body is the holder of my emotional energy, of my soul, my creativity. And this is what I was doing. I was doing all of this subconsciously. And then I got into astrology and tarot, and I realized that I knew this person. I knew Capricorn, I knew Saturn. It was at the very top of my chart. So it was in my MC, which is part of the natal chart, which is about purpose and career. So that's why I teach about Saturn and where the devil archetype comes from. And it was also very present in my life, in my paternal and grandparent archetypes, which I think that is where Saturn relates to. So this devil, when I was a child, my grandmother would try, she would make me scared. She would want to I guess to align my behavior to where she wanted. She would tell me these mythologies that would create fear in me. Like she told this one specifically called La Mano Pachona, 5. The pentacle of the devil, right? La Mano Pachona was about this man who was an alcoholic and had lost his hand in with the train because he was distracted, and so the hand went around to haunt people, to create fear in children specifically. That's how my grandmother would tell me the story. And I realized later on that this devil figure, this spirit that haunted my subconsciousness, it was projected over my body. And so when people try to sexually take advantage of my body or to molest me with their hands, I couldn't say no, because I was frozen in place. That was a psychological reaction that I traced back to this devil imagery. Now, with the devil, another thing about me is that I work a lot with the number 5. If you see, the devil has obviously the star. It's not a pentacle in my deck, but I feel like it definitely relates to the pentacle, and it's a 5-pointed star, which is thought to be unstable. I don't really think is that unstable, but I definitely feel like the meaning of the 5 is that it's unstable because it's transforming from perfect order, which is the 4 elements, into a different being, into change or death. And it relates a lot to hands, and also that relates a lot to the meditation that we were doing, because I feel like hands are the vessels that welcome energy into the world. This is why parteras, midwives, doulas are so important. Their hands are literally summoning the child or helping the child, guiding the child. I think it is wrong to assume that we are going to die alone, because we're very much divinely guided by the mother figures in a space of birth. So it means that the grandmothers, the crone figures, they must be with us at death too. Anyway, I run out of, so another mythology that I also associate with the devil, when I was little, we would go to these churches in the middle of very rural places, and they were just very, they were like surrounded by maize, and they were like in the middle of nowhere. And I remember into one of the churches that we went to in a nearby pueblo, my grandmother told me this story about thank you. I got a question. It's like, can you repeat the importance of the hands, please? Yes, your hands are, they welcome energy in. The example I gave is when the child is born, the doctor, midwife, whoever is guiding the child into the world, pulls them with their hands, or welcomes them with their hands. Hands also related to manifestation, manifestación, manos. I think also that they communicate energy. Touch is essential. Your hands move, they're fluid, they help you swim. But they're very much like a space of the crown chakra, of the top of your body, and it's just, they're pulling energy, is I think what I'm saying. Give me a second. Yes. So another mythology, when I was a child, my grandmother told me this story about a boy who had lost his mother. So this boy lost his mother and then went to live with his aunt. And supposedly in this pueblo, he was possessed by the devil, by the energies of the devil. And then there was another mythology of the devil, which is that, I'm kind of rushing through this, but one of my great aunts was visited by the devil one time because she was cheating on her husband. See, the devil always relates to a wounding, a core psychological grasp. It's, I would say the devil is like a psychopomp. It's supposed to be a guide between two different spaces of your mind that help you unite or reach across, come to a point of unity, which is what the triangle also is. I will go further into that. The devil card also has this triangular formation, if you're seeing this. So, so these different narratives in my childhood really, like, they just grasped me. And so to a point, I remember a fight with my grandmother, and I told her, well, you know what? I don't believe in the devil. And she said, that is crazy. You have to believe in the devil if you can believe in God. And I said, no, if I am not going to believe in the devil, and I'm not going to believe in God if I have to believe in the devil. Then if it's a dualistic package, I don't want it. Why was I so stubborn in this? Because I was finding out that there were the patterns related to the devil energy correlate to oppressive tendencies and a spider web of symbolism between church, state, provider, class, materialism, and woman. I was realizing that people that were controlled by the devil had been seduced by their own inner self-destructive tendencies that were created by obviously being oppressed by a system. Like, for example, cheating, having a mother die, sexual energy, that was all related to the devil and to being bad. And so I definitely felt that it was just how they were thinking of nature, how they were thinking of deeply feminine, passive qualities. They're not really passive, they're just enveloping. And they make people, their psychology would make people afraid. And so I felt that I was under a system that was keeping all of us afraid with this devil imagery that did not let us have free will. which is something that every human should naturally have, not just free will, but dignity, happiness, creativity. That is what human being at their core is. So I was very rebellious as a child, and I started writing poetry about religion and about these things. And I realized that I was going to a place where I felt that I was destructing the duality, but I really wasn't, because then I would fall into the underworld, which leads me into when I was in my first relationship, another symbol of the devil. My own disbelief in the devil came from desiring to control my fate. Like I was saying, the devil was an oppressive figure because it took away my control of creation of reality. So that is the most important thing that I would summarize this in. When you are related to the devil, to some type of psychological issue that is preying on your physical energy, your creative energy, then you're letting them control the energies of destiny that are within you, the energies that allow you to blend the elements and to be able to experiment with time, your five senses. So next, this is part of my individual journey with the devil, and I would like also a communal definition. I think the devil is important because it also means that these ancestral cycles between us, ancient DNA, bloodline patterns, they have all been corrupted. This corruption is physical, spiritual, emotional, mental, symbolic. Cyclical and feminine energy are out of balance, made toxic through controlling subconscious energies that create self-destructive karmic narratives or ancestral narratives. So I think the devil, one unifying thing is self-destruction. And when it happens in terms of community, in terms of collective, I definitely feel like it relates to the power of creators, and especially related to mother creators, women, and how they, within their bodies, women are the creators of all human beings, of all children and adults, any genders in between. It is created to the womb, through the matrix. So the woman and the devil almost are positioned as polar opposites. One of them giving birth, giving life, and the other one bringing darker image to creativity in destruction, and then using it to destroy the life creator. So I think there is a need for destructive energy, but I don't think so. There's so much destruction, but I feel like we're not really using it we are not channeling it to where it should be pointed. We often, that's why self-destruction, we process things inwardly and want to destroy the ego. We think about destroying the ego and destroying our bodies all the time. We are constantly bombarded by destruction of the body, and it is people that can philosophically, emotionally, spiritually relate to their body that gain the awareness that, oh shit, my body is communicating in this way, or my body is this other thing. But what it isn't is this psychological predator, which is the devil, which can have a lot to do with the shadows side. I think there's also historically, and there's a lot of occultism behind the devil card, and a lot of the symbolism to uncover here. What I was saying in the beginning about the sun. So historically, I feel like the devil, I don't feel, but the devil is related to Lucifer, which is related to the fallen son of God. I'm going to go into tarot now and see. So after we die, well, okay. The whole tarot is a journey that I think is grounded in Egyptian mythology. And in other common popular mythologies, it's but very ancient mythologies, but they all have to do with the birth of the sun and the descent of the sun into the underworld. This is how I'm reading these tarot cards. So the zero energy, which is portrayed here as more masculine, feminine polarities, it's foolish, naive. It's exactly what the book was talking about the maidens being ready for the devil to prey on them. And so we go into a journey of going through the archetypes, and I think these relate a lot to more celestial concepts, whereas from the Wheel of Fortune, karma, I would say this is like the in-between world, justice, the hangman, and then we reach death. And so death, we go through a portal. And in the portal, first we're healed. I think after we die, we are healed, and then we are with the devil. We are judged by the devil, which I think relates to the mythology of Cyrus, and masculine rulers of the underworld, of the space where after we die. And so then after the devil, it comes the tower, and the tower is physical destruction that creates literally the stars, the moon, and the sun, and it is reborn as the world, the four elements, the guide, humans. This figure archetype, it's a woman, and I would say that this is all from the mythology, that the son, the child son, is being born through the spirit of the mother earth, of nature, of the creative goddess, the first creative goddess, that is merging with this solar energy to create a journey for spirit, for the spirit world, which is definitely where we are. So I have a theory, before I go into the other things, that the symbols, archetypes, mythologies of the past were actually premonitions, and that they are actually still affecting our present moment. And that is why it's so important to understand mythologies and the stories that we are telling ourselves collectively and individually, historically, because from mythologies and for creating new stories that you are telling your body, your screen, you can sort of, you can alter your future, your destiny. So I was going to continue with the journey of the sun and how it shapes the devil energy. Okay, so I made a triangle there. This is why I love working with astrology. Astrology has 4 main points. This one is the ascending energy, and yes, this is the point where the sun rises. So the sun is having this journey in the sky over here. Point of sunrise is symbolic to point of birth, this welcoming into creative space. So the sun sets over here, and then the sun goes into the underworld, and it transforms into the moon. The moon embodies the same energies of the sun, but through subtlety, through nothingness, being able to be a projection. That's why in the meditation too, I was telling you to project, to be able to channel light energy in a subtle way is very, very powerful. Because it is essentially the process of creation within the womb. And it actually is very related to not just tarot, not just astrology. I think Mexica cosmology, Mexica religion is very also related to the journey of the sun into the underworld, and how the sun and the moon are, they are altering in being providers, caretakers, and being these guides for us that are in the cosmic plane. I think just as nothingness, as darkness, as destruction, as evil has been submitted to more masculine patriarchal willpower, that is why the moon is so important, because I'm not sure if I'm explaining this correctly, but the moon is basically what is telling, it is narrating the cycles of lifeblood, of the lifeblood of sea, of the soul. And so in doing narrating of these cycles of time, allowing time to pass through a vessel, through a body, which is what the moon is doing through shining the light of the sun in different types of phases, that is essentially what creation is, and what pregnancy means. What not even just that, like the cycle of maize, of corn, of vegetables that grow inside the womb of the earth too, and grow, you know, like it's this sun and moon cycle. And so when the sun goes into the world is when most mythologies have this associated that to the devil, to Pluto, to Saturn being a predator that ate his children to keep a power over the celestial cosmic heavens. So in Egyptian mythology, Osiris was seen as the lord of the underworld, and Isis, the goddess of the material plane. She was the mother, and Horus was seen as the sun child or the sun warrior, which I think embody the rulerships over certain symbolisms, guides over each plane of the earth. Horus, the sun in the heavens, in the celestial plane. Isis, the middle earth, the queen of humans, creativity, healer, witch, midwife. And then Osiris, the one that guides your soul back into the cycle of harmony with life. And I am talking specifically about Egyptian mythology because it's I feel like I studied it, and I feel like it relates a lot to the tarot, and it also relates to the first cult of power, which was deeply grounded in Isis, and so I think that's very relevant to how I think capitalism and neoliberalism have stolen these symbols of creativity, and white men have basically used them to create, construct their own ideologies. But anyway, so Osiris was not seen as a negative guide. Osiris wasn't seen. It was actually a mirror to Isis, which is the 180-degree angle, what it symbolizes. This is a mirror, and it's also a point of, let me see, I have it in my notes. It's a projective identification. A mirror, our partner, our other self, the sun rising, the sun setting, this is a mirror. And we identify with it. I think we identify the sun subconsciously to God, and the moon subconsciously we identify it to mother. But it's seen as evil, right? The mother is evil. Why is the mother evil? Why are we not breaking these chains? Why are we still caught in a capitalist colonial system? Why haven't I left my toxic relationship? Why can't I stop that addiction? What is it about me that subconsciously desires the self-destructive tendencies? Okay, let me pause. Yes, so obviously I feel like before we had not really had a negative perception with Osiris or even the sun. We had or the Egyptian, and I think also ancient civilizations, like the indigenous civilizations, especially like the Mexica and the Maya, they had more positive relationships to the stars. Therefore, they were not creating these self-destructive mythologies with the cosmic universe. And death was not something that was scary. Death was something that was natural. There was a give and take, a flow, and a surrender to giving in to nature, and to nature being this highly intelligent creator. So related to, I feel like the devil relates to the corruption of ancestral cycles, because the mother, the womb space is creating from violence, from rape. So you see how those subconscious energies have been molded to create violence and trauma. So when we are born, we have observed the mother, we have observed all these subconscious conditioning that our mothers observed. And so it creates narratives, guides for us, where we need to go into this journey of decolonialization. Because again, I don't feel like the devil energy is really bad. It's just been used to create evil because of its powerful creative source of energy. And this is why also Saturn in astrology, Saturn rules material reality. It rules capital, and it has its opposite relationship to the moon in Cancer. Cancer relates to the mother. Yes, it relates to the high priestess. Yes, it relates to the lunar energies. But Cancer is also a sign that is usually related to manipulation, to being weak at their core, or being very easily influenced subconsciously. Yes, that is what Cancer is. Cancer is able to be programmed. Capricorn, as this elder energy, like the devil knows more than you, is going to program the Cancer element to create whatever they want to be molded out of Cancer. So if you are a Cancer or even Leo, I would say that sunlight also has that same liquid capacity. We're working with the duality still here, but I feel like these are signs that are very easily programmable to create a material result. Their energies very fluid and very containing, receiving of space. So Saturn in astrology is channeled through the energies of the moon, and it's not just Saturn that is channeled through the energies of the moon. Like the moon literally is like this little clock of space that is giving us downloads, vibrations, or they are coming in through our psychic body. And so because the moon is basically, it's just a point of communication. It's a vessel, portal, and it is reflecting the light of the sun, how the sun feels every day, I would say, and where the cycles of the earth and the other, like the familiar system of the solar system, where it's converging, where it's disagreeing. The moon right now is in Scorpio, but before it, it's still in opposition. So the moon over here in opposition to Mars in Aries, the very end of Aries, creating this opposition mirror energy that we are talking about. Also, I don't know if anyone had any questions. It's interesting. As a trans person, non-binary person, I've identified with the devil because of the seductive nature of their power, and they often get portrayed as genderless, unidentified gender representation, and I've always questioned why that is a negative. Yeah, I definitely don't think it's a negative. I think what the book was saying is that with this, we call this energy the devil because we've all been conditioned by Christian mythology. It's a mythology. It's not, Jesus Christ is an archetype that was taken from Egyptian mythology too. Osiris coming into the underworld, the book of the dead, the book of resurrection, Tecaztlipoca, in Mexica cosmology, religion too. Like these were masculine energies that, or seen as masculine gender, but it really represents grandfather archetypes, paternal bones. It represents a rock, right? That is seen as colder, more impenetrable. Yang energy, or the paternal, the seeds, is what I feel. So these Christianity, and that's why we call it the devil, because of Christianity, and it made us very scared to interact with it. But in fact, the devil is a guide that can take any shape or form that you want. I feel that I've been guided by Saturn to create this space. I feel that I am the devil in my own life because I control my fate, and I know what it is to create my reality and to not be confined to this space of cyclical corruption of the cycles. But I think also individually we can do the work, but it doesn't matter if the mythologies are not being destroyed collectively, which is why I think 2020, it is a historical moment, because it has the potential to shape history and future, and go back also. It has it's like a big time portal. A historical moment, I think, is defined by its capacity to influence the future, though. So many things have changed with 2020, COVID, the murders of many of our Black brothers, sisters, especially with George Floyd. And that was a big changing point. It was because what we are exploring is exactly this energy of destruction. And I think we are seeing it reflected in the destruction by the collective, by capitalism. It's destructing specific people in our society, especially Black people, indigenous people, the land. I would say those, but so because we're seeing it in the outside, I feel like it can get I feel like we can kind of feel afraid of the energy that is here for us, because this is an energy of destruction and death and letting go. But what are we killing? What are we murdering? What is right to destroy? If we don't want the destruction of our brothers or sisters, of our community, we don't want the destruction of our soul, what do we sacrifice? Okay. I need to go back to my rubric. Yes. I think yeah.
Hey.
Yes.
I have this really, I was raised, Catholic in the church, and Catholic school and everything, and was conditioned to have that same fear of the devil and everything. Mm-hmm. And I found now that my relationship with the devil and that analogy that it can represent in a lot of Western culture, mm-hmm. is that it's a challenge to dip into the things that make us scared.
Yeah.
And because oftentimes the things that we fear are things that when they possibly will occur, but it's not as scary as we thought it was, or as destructive. And also I think it represents, you said, that destructive tower plays into the connectivity it has, the devil card has. Mm-hmm. It is, sometimes it's okay to like lean into those things, mm-hmm. because we find our limits, we find like the fine edges boundaries of ourselves, you know, like and we also learn like the potential power that we have, and like you were mm-hmm. saying, you know, how like we kind of run around in the darkness and mm-hmm. don't know this power, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. That like one of the things that I've, like you say, you hear or like you speak like mm-hmm. like what you like receive. I also get those feelings, and I've like received that my existence is not to bring light in the world, mm-hmm. but to show that you don't have to cower in the darkness. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I feel like I really embrace mm-hmm. and like wrap the symbology of the devil like mm-hmm. around myself, because mm-hmm. it is also something that is indicative of existing in all these negatives, all these vices, all these mm-hmm. you know things, and there is no destruction. You keep like producing, creating, like mm-hmm. you mm-hmm. continue to challenge and mm-hmm. push people to their like, you know, limits and things like that.
Intensity. Yeah.
And like I think about my, like I practice BDSM, and like in that, like a lot of it is like, okay, so it's about pushing to the edges and everything. And then also like the consent aspect is like mm-hmm. that relationship that we choose to have with it, you know?
And I think what you're saying also is reminding me of this capacity, or I feel like water is very resistant. And in BDSM, the potential for suffering to bring about pleasure, I feel like it's what I was saying, emotion is programmable. And emotion and addiction, any type of a feeling energy that you're channeling through the body, through the expression of the physical and the psychic sexual, right? If you program it to attract what you want, you will attract it. That is the energy of the devil. And I definitely feel like it's very much an energy that is protective, that is emotional, and that is about bondage and being I think it's being pressured into becoming something, transforming. I did a meditation too on Instagram, and it was using the serpent as this devil energy or devil symbolism. And when the serpent wraps around your body, it is increasing the pressure in your body so that you burst into the light body, which is, to me, this is the process of the devil. And then it becomes free, it sets some sort of energy free. Destruction, it can be an energy of destruction, and I hope that it can be an energy that destroys the system that we have in place in the matrix, that has been put there through the body of the mother. If I'm being honest, I feel like vulvas have a lot to do with this manifestation of corrupting the timelines. So the tower gives energy to what I was saying, these big celestial symbols, connective.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Don't worry.
But like when you said you feel like vulvas are like a symbol that are coming up, is that what you said?
Well, no. So I like.
It's involved.
Yeah, so I feel like my mother was her vulva, the memory within her vulva and her womb space, the energy that she created my body from, I think that attracted and was programmed in sort of way that it attracted what I did not want. I like the devil. I like pressure. I like work. I like intensity. I like people that are fucked up and psychologically complex. But what I don't like is when I am taken advantage of by men who are predatory, by systems that are predatory, by systems that are being predators to children. Like the education system to me is this big devil energy too. It's a big construction that creates all these behavior patterns that the teachers are the mother vessels in that sense, that they're programming the children to think like individuals. They're programming the children to failure, to fear, to be insecure. So I see the devil very reflected in education systems, prison systems. Education and prison systems are highly related, which also leads me back to the three and the triangle, and why I think this is related. It's like to the devil and to the energy between the sun, the moon, and the stars. And mathematics, I would say, is really related here, because I feel like numbers have been used against us to create systems that are oppressive, whereas for example, in Mexica cosmology, numbers are numerical programs that are in harmony with the universe. Yes, let me read the comments. Yes, I definitely feel like it's a projection. Is destructive energy largely considered masculine energy, grandfather energy? I consider the idea of death to be part of the maternal process, as you said about the crone. Yes, see, that's what I mean. Like at first, before colonialism, this devil energy was related to the maternal process of taking death, taking life, bringing pain, suffering, intensity of emotions, tears, blood, coming. That is all related to a process of that are maternal, but that are also creative. And I think really like, I think to me, with men, men have been large predators in my environment, but also in my own psyche, my own paranoia, and my own tendencies towards toxic masculinity. So because I think that the male is the strongest energy away from the mother, which is the earth, which is the creative vessel that we are existing on. Males seem to have more of a body that channels yang energy, solar energy in that sense, and because it's extrovertly created, it has been related to Saturn, to Capricorn, to archetypes that are constructive, which is the thing with the triangle, and the number three. The number three is constructive. Let me go back to my notes. If anyone has any questions, let me know. Okay. So I think that the triangle formula was used to subjugate human to relationship of contractual oppression, slavery. I think that the devil is a karmic energies that bind us to a history of organized oppression, where the divine symbols of multiplicity of creation have been used externally to construct destructive behavioral and structural patterns, like education, like prison systems, like relationships. Because I think with the devil, I definitely always get some type of relationship or relating. And I mean, it's different for everyone, because some people channel their devil very in a more impressive way, but some people are literally, they are just tied, they're bound to their subconsciousness. So they're still working for capital, or how their like their physical body has been used to create oppression before. So the numbers in the triangle, in astrology, the 180 angle is right across, and as I said, it's the opposition, it's the mirror. 180 sums up to 9. And so over here we have a 90-degree angle, again 9. 90-degree angle over here, 9. 9 is 3 times 3 times 3 equals 9. I think that 3 months, I think that pregnancy is a cycle that also has a lot to do with the number 3. I think 3 also relate to father, mother, child. So dualities, and then the third space, the non-binary degrees. And I think these are important because these create the initial structure for capitalism. After your first child, I come from a family that my mother had many children. Why was she having so much children? I always asked myself. I thought that her giving birth to a lot of us meant that we had less food to eat, and that she would be more worried and more stressed. I didn't really get her femininity or her expression to create, but I think what she was really creating was she was hoping that one of us would be able to break these cycles. I knew that she was successful in the very beginning with me, because I've broken so many cycles. And so I think the 3 though relates to this multiplying of capital of the masses that creates this huge reality. I don't know. These squares, these formulas that replicate and attract, and consistently, like, they just echo and reverberate all over, constructing what our reality is.
Can I ask a question? So for me, I've been kind of getting more into numerology, and like I'm really interested in like everything you're saying around like the numbers and stuff, and like I've been aware of my own internalized like Catholicism, because like I remember when I would like see like the number 13 or like 666, like I would like feel energetically in my body, like I would become afraid. And that's something that only as I've gotten older, I can't say it's gotten better, but I've become aware of that fear and like questioning it. And I'm just like, I don't know if you like have any suggestions around that. And like, even like when we were talking about like the earlier meditation of like floating in the water, like any of my homies that like really know me, like I am terrified of the ocean at night.
Wow.
Terrified. So like doing that meditation, like I literally was like, I was like feeling it, like that fear, and I was feeling that tingly sensation of like that hypervigilance. But only through you talking right now, I'm realizing I have that same feeling when I see like that the number 66, and I was gonna say that number, the number 666 or 13. And so like that's something I've been trying to like work with and like deconstruct. And like even like talking about like with the devil cards, I'm just like, I also have like really bad OCD, so I like fixate on numbers. And so like I've been trying as a means of like my own mental health, like trying to like move through like my internalization of like the fear of numbers, right? And then you said something earlier about like for the Mexica numbers are something. What was it? Would you mind repeating it?
Oh, they're part of the creation of systems that are in harmony with the universe. Matter and energy. It is the astronomical order, because they saw energy as being ordered, which in order. For example, I feel like my family has a lot of these traditional belief systems that I think relate to this, what we're talking about. Like in my community, women marry to create life. That is their purpose. Their bodies want to create life. And so because that was the harmony between our existence and the existence in the universe, but now we are out of balance and we are in lack of harmony. And the lunar cycle to the Mexica was especially important, and it really relates to life path 7, number 7, the cycle of the maize and other which is, it grows in the exterior. So it relates to the solar cycle, but also to the moon cycle. I would need to study more of the details to be able to remember everything. But I also know that like maize, for example, the energy, the growing energy of the moon, the waxing energy of the moon affects plants that grow above the earth, and then the waning energy affects when they're growing underneath. But they saw like all these cycle systems, numbers that it takes for plants to grow, for children to be created, for like the 3 to become a community, right? The process of family becoming a community, and then a community becoming social. They had a very different perspective of it than what it is now. And so numbers still maintain their sacred value of creation, but there's just, I think, again, used to create things that are toxic for the earth. I was also going to say, Ablo, you are also a Leo moon and a Leo rising, and that is just a lot more about light symbols of the sun. And I think the sun is, Leo can be really scared of the dark because they don't like when the sun goes down. They don't like the journey of the sun through the underworld, or at least what our psychological perception of that is. Because it's like being without guidance, and seeing like the constellations, the stars, the moon, the subtle energies as evil. I think also about your fear of darkness and water. Whenever we have these deep psychological fears, it is probably because of our connection to our mother in some way, or serious repressed trauma in the body of the mother that is still affecting us into the present moment. And it doesn't also have to relate to your mother. It can also relate to the maternal ancestry. I think also emotions are really related here, because again, they're subtle energies. So if you're afraid of water, you're afraid of subtle energy. I think you're maybe deeply scared of being manipulated, because you have been programmed. Your body has been programmed in a way that it was not suitable for you. It was not true expressive of the Leo moon, or the creativity of that solar archetype. And so it feels strange. And I will say that at the end, we are going to do the final meditation again. So I'm sorry about the water, or but this is the space to me that is the matrix. This is where these entities are manipulating, programming to create capital. Well, not even the creation of capital anymore. I feel like we are still creating capital, but it's more like the creation of exploitative systems and in ways to consolidate wealth. About that, another aspect of the devil that I wanted to just quickly say that I think is important was about, and it relates to the five senses, that I thought devil energy was about constriction. So it deadens the senses, or is desensitized. It messes with the senses in some ways, and that's why bondage BDSM is also particularly interesting here. The devil plays with the physical senses. Even it's okay, I cannot find where my note about that is, but yes, let me continue. 9 also relates to 9 months pregnant, and then 9 is the last single number that is, that is very abundant. I think 9 relates to manifestation. I remember when I was little that I didn't like math. I didn't like numbers because my math teachers terrified me. It made me very afraid of it. But it turns out I'm an astrologer, so I love like numbers and shapes and angles. So the 9 times table, I always remember it through like 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. 9 times 3. See, 9, it relates. These numbers are relating to parts of our bodies too. That's another thing that I feel is really real. Number 3 is.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I just realized that you keep saying 3. I've been seeing 3 for like the last 3 months constantly. I've seen lots of 3s, like 333, and then I realized my life path is also 9.
Wow.
So yeah, that's some Capricorn shit, ain't it?
Constructing energy. It's constructive, but it would feel like it's also like, what are you, the thing that is constructed doesn't have to be like, it can be tangible, it can be a child. I don't think it has to be that anymore. I don't think we are subjected to these dualistic ways of constructing as we were colonized to believe. The 333, that is really interesting to me. The 3 especially relates to the 3 of Pentacles in tarot. I don't have the rest of my tarot deck with me, but in the 3 of Pentacles, there is an artist, and then there's 2 elders from a community coming to give something to the artist, which to me relates to this devil energy again. But the artist is at the pinnacle, and then these elders are offering something for the artist to create. So number 3 really does relate to the energies of collaboration, creation, uniting with 2 other viewpoints that are highly different from each other, which is the mirror image in the triangle, and the artist becomes the pinnacle of the triangle, the point of awareness of creation. Also, another thing that I wanted to talk about was pyramids, because pyramids to me are spiritual, mathematical, but they're also influenced there are also influencing the energy of constructing or of the devil, because these were the first like buildings that were constructed as temples. Then after them, it was just houses, and all these other buildings and all these codes were created, which led to the creation of a society, right? Which is amazing. But I feel like, again, it was all like it was developed from these very archaic concepts that were sacred at one point, that had a wisdom and a mystery to them. And technology really came up with this like Uranus energy and made it chaotic. But also not just that, there is real evil in the world, I would say. Anyway, before I get carried away. So transmutation of the devil. I think if you, like me, you have struggled with the nothingness, with the heaviness of emotions, and the energy of, being the owner of your body, your soul, not giving it away to capitalism. I think, to me, in my life, what has helped a lot is to subvert the archetypes of dominion through non-dualism, bringing the three to the underworld. Literally means flipping the script. So what I'm saying is tumbling this person down to the underworld, where the crone energy can decay it, when it can come and take it, when you can send it, you can send the devil into the underworld, into its own journey. So to me, transmuting the devil is about manifesting destruction of blockages on the heart chakra of the earth too, which leads me to my great big point, is that I think one of the things with the devil, the toxicity of concrete, of pollution, of all these things that are tangible, constructive, I feel like I think we can regress it by, again, flipping the script, by imagining that the earth is becoming free of these blockages, the same way as we are becoming free of our own blockages, the same way we can manipulate blockages to be able to give solidity, foundation. I definitely feel like we're part of the Pluto and Scorpio generation. We are part of the generation that does not need to create anymore, needs to go inward, take the devil inward, and focus on destruction, on change, on being able to dismantle systems, to be able to tear down intellectual systems, conditioning that have fucked with our manifestations, basically. I think reinventing a collective archetype is recreating mythology, which is why our childhood narratives matter so much, the stories we were hearing when we were a child. And so, because I feel like a lot of the fear with the devil comes with religion, with Christianity, with Catholicism. So if we can create a different mythological perspectives, or a collection of different perspectives in the way that we're seeing spirituality, in the way that we're seeing the body as identity, the body's language, in the way that we are seeing spirit messages, all these intuitive insights, psychic insights, I think that we can destroy the past trauma cycles and corruption of the planet. I don't think that we are just going to die off. I think that the planet is on a state of reconstruction, and its reconstruction, its transmutation can actually lead to many different possibilities in the future. But as I said in the beginning, I think 2020 is a space, a channel, a portal that can definitely allow us to create the world we want to create. But for that to happen, first, we literally need to get rid of these negative energies of trauma that we have within the body, that have captured our creative potential by deadening the senses, the five senses, the sensory experience, and manipulating the body into attracting things that sometimes it does not want. Okay, let me see if there's any notes before that. Oh, I was also going to say that, yeah, like I'm going to create more workshops, because the triangle symbolism, even how it works with the natal chart, it these 4 different angles have a lot to do with what I'm talking about just now. I think that this relates to the construction of social reality, which relates to materialism, to capital, to food, to Instagram, social media, anything that is public and that is visible. This is the journey of the sun through the sky, right? So it is visible, it is extroverted. This is about yin energy. This is darkness. This is the subconsciousness. Yes. So it's this point, it's opposite of this one for a reason. There is another 180-degree angle created there, and I think it's points of consciousness, and different, like, I feel like this is, to me, the underworld, the bottom of it, or the depth, the bottom of the sea, the nothing energy. Before I finish, yes, okay. Oh yes, I was saying 180 degrees angle of partnership. The 90 angle is individual maturity. The other 90-degree angle is about creative expression. Individual maturity and creative expression creates a unity within the self. There was something else, and I think it was about elevation. The devil is also about commitment, or, as I said, this ties these contractual agreements, which is why we cannot break them. If you want to switch out your agreements, the people that you're relating to, the people that are reflecting back to you, your own issues and your own relationships to the soul and the spirit, then you will start by changing the symbols in your subconsciousness, in your dream world, in your dreams. Yes, and you would also start by moving the elements. So I think concrete is a big symbol with the devil. Concrete freezes the elements. Anything that emotionally reflects this nature of concrete to solidify, to petrify the elements, it's in lack of harmony with the flow of the universe. And this is where you experience emotional contraction. Angles create conflicts or disharmony. The centric point of a triangle here, of this point of balance, can create a lot of flow. Okay, so now we are ready to meditate, and maybe we'll have time for questions. I'm sorry I talked a lot. I've also read The Devil is Creative Androgeneity. Yes, I definitely feel like androgeneity and non-binary people can relate to this a lot, because it's literally, you are tearing down the dualism between man and woman. I have a poem that I wrote about this. If man has been used to destroy woman, then if you destroy woman and woman becomes something else, man has nothing else to destroy. Woman has nothing else to manipulate if you destroy man too. If you destroy the binary, you basically destroy the mirror, you break the curse, which is how I feel like I definitely, when I was a child, I did not relate to my own body a lot. And then when I discovered the way that it wanted to present, it was difficult for me. I still feel awkward in it, especially after sexual trauma and things like that. It's difficult. But yes, I would like to start the finalizing of the ritual. So if you're ready, please join me in closing your eyes. And I hope this process is subtle, it's soft. I hope it's not too triggering. And I want you to go back to the nothing space. to see darkness, just to be within yourself. Go back, regress. Let time flow become non-linear, non-aggressive, slow, merging with the 5 senses. I want you to please lay down like we did last time. And when you're ready, go ahead and dip your fingertips into the water again. Just a little bit, this time with your palms subtly going down into the water. So you want your palms and your fingertips to be connecting. Your palm, the way it is pressing against the water, is going to act as a communicator. I want you to visualize your palm and all the lines that are running through it. These lines are the memory within your body, the ancestry, the root of who you are, the root of the earth. Through your palm, you will summon the energy, the symbols of your inner devil, but not yet. First, in the above space below, above you, I want you to project a triangle shape. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. Just imagine that there is a triangle. You can imagine the borders, any form, shape, material that you want. I just want you to imagine a huge triangle with enough space to fill it with memories of times in your life where you felt, witnessed, experienced self-destruction, destruction towards others, towards the soul and the Mother Earth. I want you to think maybe of specific memories. Some of them will come with darker emotions than others. You may fill this magnificent space with images of the earth and how it's pressed. Think about how concrete blocks the earth. Think about paradigms of oppression like the gender binary, classism, or racism. Imagine it all. Imagine the inner oppressor within you and throw it into the triangle space. Any type of psychological conditioning that is keeping you from uniting with, from having harmony and balance within yourself, from your most true, beautiful, perfect creation and identification. Imagine it all and let the images filter out through you, as if you were a funnel projecting into the big screen above you, filling the triangle with energy. It's a movie you're watching. Just this triangle, I want to tell you that it is not like any other triangle. This triangle is created after your personal history and the emotions, the patterns, cycles that have injured your bloodline and the body that takes after the soul of the earth. Think about space of guilt, of self-hatred towards the body, towards parts of yourself that you don't like. Please collect them into the triangle. Like a prison, let it take from your body. And as the triangle continues filling with energy, I want you to observe the shape that it is taking. In my eye, the triangle is like a boulder. It's concrete. It's these memories that I have are frozen in time. I am destructive by nature, physically strong. And the more energy I pour into my triangle, the more deadened the senses transform into a solid space, into a boulder. The heaviness of the shape is forever an antithesis to the lightweight energies of the nothing space. The triangle is containing all these heavy energies, oppressive forces over the body. With every breath, I want you to lift the triangle. And imagine your breath like blowing up into the triangle, and it just lifts farther and farther away from you. Lift it far into the darkness, into the endless, endless space. Watch it become smaller the farther it goes, but don't lose sight of it yet. We are only lifting so that you can know that you are strong. You are impenetrable like water, resisting against all burdens, heavy energies. Nothing is strong enough to bind your spirit to any form, not matter how many forms are created to press you. So connect to your third eye now, and let it once again, the golden currents of the water flow into your body, this time flowing into your fingertips and into the third eye. The potential energy of the water is gifting you infinite potential, creative magnitude. This energy is magnetic, electric, and flows from your third eye below to your shoulders, creating triangular angles. From your shoulder, it flows into your solar plexus, uniting once again. From the solar plexus, it splits, flowing to become one with your pelvis, with the energy center between your thighs. Feel the infinite flow of golden light from your third eye radiating to your solar chakra, down to your root chakra. This moment, you can let go of the triangle. So I want you to cut the cord and watch it come down from the dark skies, because it's not being sustained by anything anymore. It is disconnected. So for a second, you may think that it'll crush you because it's descending and it's very heavy. But you learn to become light, to release projective light from your body, the light you have absorbed from the potential energy of the ocean. And once your inner light is able to touch the triangular object, the triangle floating in front of you, this is illuminated into destruction. Imagine its destruction. Imagine the destruction of these memories, how they're transmuting, becoming, to me, they're becoming multicolored golden and rainbow light, dissolving into the nothing darkness. Eventually, this nothing darkness finally gets through you. And I want you to let your body submerge, let it sink into the darkness. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you. I wanted Julieta. Is it okay? Yes. Yes. Okay. So I wanted to just end with closing intentions. I feel like my intention with this is really to grow it into a project that is able to let me express what is coming through with this energy, because I'm still at a point where I'm like I see something, I feel something, definitely. It's really powerful. But again, it's very expansive too. But anyway, if you all have any questions, I know it's not a lot of time, but you can also DM me and I'll definitely be hosting more workshops. I'm really glad that I started this, and also wanted to say thank you, Julieta, for motivating me to do a workshop format, because I would do Instagram lives all the time and I talk a lot about these issues, these symbols, but I am very disorganized. So it's a whirlwind of energy. Anyway, yes, does anyone have any questions, anything that they would like to say or comment?
I just wanted to say thank you, like everybody who held space also, and you for facilitating this. It was really, it's nice for my Saturday.
Yeah, I love Saturn. I call it Saturn Day. I love Saturn. I feel like it has really let me like find a point of contention with myself. I definitely feel like I was one of those people that was projecting Saturn or the devil into the partner. So my Saturn, my devil is a lot about partnerships. This also has a lot to do with my natal chart. Wherever Capricorn is in your natal chart is usually where these issues are going to be triggered, and how you're going to like how the energies are going to be channeled, I guess. So my Capricorn is in the 7th house of partnerships. But thank you all so much for participating. I'm really glad to do this. Well, if no one else has any questions, I'm going to finish the workshop. Yes. I hope you all have a restful evening. And yeah, thank you.